aware, but Carol Burnett, the famous comedian, she had lived there as well. And so she kind of made the place famous. So we all stayed there and, got up early and, auditioned and did rehearsals or whatever we had to do. And it was a really nice time. And the rehearsal club was located practically right next door to the Museum of Modern Art on West 53rd Street. Was it 53rd? 52nd? Yeah.
53rd.
So welcome, Kristen and Robina. And so I just want to warn you, everybody else you see here has been chanting with me for almost a year. We started this Zoom group after COVID set in, and we started last April. So, and we always chant in Sanskrit, Sanskritam, which is known to be the language of yoga. And I think everybody else here is a yoga practitioner and or teacher. So anytime you have a question or want to repeat something, please just unmute yourself and say, could we do that again? Or you could send out a chat. I'm really thrilled you're here. So this is very exciting for me. Okay, so who else is here? Clicking on my thing. All right. Time to begin, is it? Yeah, okay, so it's just after 4. There may be some people still coming in. So Sanskrit is very much the language of, and we chant in order to feel better, but we often chant to praise and honor a deity, which sometimes we just, I did not grow up in India, and I did not grow up in the what we call the Hindu culture, and many of us did not. But through yoga, we've discovered that we like chanting and we like the Sanskrit sounds. And so our treatment of the gods and goddesses is like, it's as though we are invoking the powers that these deities are said to have. We're invoking those powers to be in us and to grow in us, the good things. So that's what we are doing. We have a long invocation that Elizabeth and I learned in Vedic Chant. So today I'll start off with the first chant, the first verse to Lord Vishnu, Shuklam. And who would like to do the next verse or verses? Patty?
Yeah, okay. I'll do that. I have to overcome that second word. I have trouble. Okay. My best.
And who'd like to do the first one? Third one, excuse me.
I'll do the third.
Okay,
Leslie.
That's great. Kristen and Robina, this is new for us because for about 5 months, nobody let me listen to them at all. So this is new. So they're chanting now and audibly, and that's really, really special. So we have myself for the first one. We've got the second one and the third verse. Who would like to take the next one?
I'll do that one.
Okay, that'd be great, Patty. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And the fourth verse is Pundarika Sanasanam. Who wants to do that one? Elizabeth. Okay.
Wait, I think that I just took the fourth one.
Oh.
Because I was going to do 2, and then Lisa's doing 3, right? And then I said I would do the next one, or did I?
Okay, let's see if we've got this right.
I don't care. I'll do whatever. I'll do more than just the one. So whoever doesn't want to do, I just cannot do the dedication to Krishnamacharya, even though I sang it many times in the car today. I still.
Yeah, I thought I was doing the dedication to Krishnamacharya.
Excellent. Okay, you do that. Who's doing shall I do the Guru Vandanam? I'll do that one. And then who wants to do, and Elizabeth, do you want to do both Krishnamacharya and Desikachar, or would someone else like to do Desikachar? And Sandra, would you like to do anything? Oh, hi, Caitlin.
Hi.
Caitlin, would you like to chant the dedication to Desikachar, the final verse?
Sure.
Okay. Now I've completely forgotten, so we'll just go and we'll see what happens. Okay. Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnan Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanand Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye.
Yasya Trivirada Vaktradyaha Parishadya Parashyatam Vignan Nignanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamashraye.
Jnanandam mayam devam nirmala spatika kritim adharam sarva vidyanam hayagriva mupashmaye.
Pundarika sanasinam Pantura prentu sannibham Akanta botak janakam Hayagriva mupasmahe.
Guru Bhyastad Guru Bhyascha Namo Vakamadhimahe Vranimahe Chatatradyau Dampati Jagatam Pati.
Shri Krishna Vagishayatishvarabhyam Samprapta Chakrankana Bhashyasaram Shri Nutnarangendra Yatau Samarpitasvam Shri Krishna Maryam Guru Varyamide Virodhe Kartike Mase Shatatara Kritodayam Yoga Charyang Krishna Maryam Guru Varyamaham Bhaje.
Shishyakan Krishna Maryasya Nadhavansha Pradipakam Kalyana Gunarupantam Shri Deshikam Namamyaham Prashanta Purushakaram Viniyoga Pracharakam Vishesha Vaidikam Surim Tam Deshikam Smaramyaham Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
Thank you, everyone. Caitlin, I wanted to introduce you and everybody else, if you just signed on, to my two dear friends, old friends of mine, Robina and Kristen. They we go a long way. And so some of this might be very new to them. So forgive me, but I'll be doing a little bit of explanation. And if anyone else wants to chime in explaining things, please join in. I don't know, Kristen and Robina, if you notice in the very end, Caitlin chanted, harih om. With everyone muted, let's all do that together. So the first sound comes from the belly, from the lower abdomen. And whenever we see an H sound, that's what we call a Maha prana sound. Maha means great and prana means breath. So a great breath sound is one that's indicated on the page by the letter H. And whenever we do that, we try to make the sound come from deep within, because if we support that sound with the lower abdomen by drawing the lower abdomen in sharply towards the spine as we emit ha, what that does is save the vocal cords. So instead of going ha, like from the throat, then we're going to wear out the throat area very quickly. So we want to support that Maha prana sound from down below. So we end up with ha. Let's do that twice. Ha, ha. Can you all feel that? The source being at the lower abdomen. Then, now, ha, it was taught to me, ha has to do with blowing. It's a Maha prana sound. And so it represents the blowing up or the bringing up of the impurities inside us and expelling them. So ha is feeling the impurities, we're letting them go. The next sound is ri. So everyone say ri and repeat that. Ri. Ri is related to the original sound is ram. Let's all chant ram 5 times. Just say it in a monotone. So here we go. Ram, 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 ram. It is said that that sound has heating qualities. So ri, being related to ram, represents the fire that is to burn up the impurities that we just expulged. Expulged, is that a word? Anyway, we brought them up. And so ha is blowing everything up and out. Ri is the burning of those impurities. And then at the end we have, in Sanskrit, it's known as a visarga. Visarga happens a lot in Sanskrit grammar. It's represented by the letter H with a dot under it. And it simply means we have to expel more breath. So here it's rihi. So again, the hi is initiated at the abdomen. Rihi, rihi. So we have ha, ri, hi. So ha is taking the impurities out, ri is burning them, and the visarga at the end of ri, hi. That hi is the blowing away of the ashes. And Menaka Desikachar told me that when we do that, we are then pure enough to pronounce Om. So we have to be fit for Om. So hence, if you note, I don't know if you noticed, but in this long invocation, the sound of Om wasn't even heard. We were paying our homages to Lord Vishnu and to Ganesha, who's the elephant god with the one tusk who gets rid of the obstacles for us, and to the teachers, the gurus, and also to Krishnamacharya, who in the lineage of many of us studying yoga, he was the great teacher in the 20th century who taught Patabi Joyce, who has been teaching, well, he died, but he taught what we know of as Ashtanga yoga. And Krishnamacharya also taught BKS Iyengar, who is a teacher of many of us, another form of yoga, learning of the postures. So, and also Desikachar. So the last two long verses, the first of those last two was dedicated to Krishnamacharya, and then the very last one to Desikachar, with whom some of us, Elizabeth has studied with him, a few other people, and our teacher had studied with him, and he just passed away a few years ago. So the deities are honored, and then all the teachers are honored, and then specifically the two teachers in the lineage of this chanting are honored. And at the very end of all that, we chant, Harih Om. So the idea is to feel pure and strong and ready for that sacred syllable. So let's all chant Harih Om together. Harih Om. Om is also a very interesting sound. It is one syllable, akshara, but Om is also comprised of different mouth positions. So for especially Robina and Kristen, when we chant in Sanskrit, one of the very first things we learn is that there are 5 mouth positions. The first mouth position is in the throat, as in ah. So everyone chant ah. And there's a longer, more open sound in the throat, ah. So both of those sounds are represented in the beginning of Om, which is said to begin at the throat. And then the 5th mouth position is the lips. And the vowel sound at the lips is oo, or a long version of that, ooh. Ooh. And finally, the syllable, the sacred syllable, ends with the closing of the lips. Now, we can exaggerate that feeling, and we can see if we can go through the entire palate of the mouth. The positions are the throat, and then the next mouth position is the soft palate, in which we find pronunciations of the vowel sound I or E, or the consonants ch, cha, or j. Then the third mouth position is when we take the tip of the tongue and scrub it up the palate beyond the teeth and beyond the ridge of the palate and make contact with the hard palate. And that's the place where sometimes it's this mouth position that enables us to sound as though we came from India, as though we were going to say, hello, how are you? My name is, so and so forth. It's in there. So the tip of the tongue comes to this hard palate. Ta for ta, or ra, the R sounds, ra, ra. The 4th mouth position is the teeth, na or ta. So the tongue touches the front top teeth, ta, la, ta, or lr. And then, as I stated earlier, the lips, oo, pa, pa. So Om is said to represent the entire universe. It's a universal sound, and we reflect that by focusing on all of the 5 mouth positions. So if we want to exaggerate that sound, we can make all of the other mouth position vibrations come to life by doing something like this. And then close the lips at So a gross representation of Om could be The Sanskritist probably thought that was just a bit too much. So it's represented by simply focusing on the throat and then immediately sending the sound forward to the lips. So much for beginners. So Kristen and Robina, how was that? Were you able to make vibrations? Good, good. So do you all get this handout that Patty, thank you, Patty, for sending it. So I'm looking at the handout that has the invocation to Shiva and Parvati. It's what we started with last week. As I mentioned, I think last week, just about every verse in Sanskrit could be treated as an invocation, something we do to invoke success and well-being in our studies. This top chant is paying homage to Lord Shiva, who is known as the consolidator. And Shiva lived up in the Himalayas, lives up there, and also to his wife, consort Parvati. Parvati means literally daughter of the mountain. So one of the Sanskrit words for mountain is Parvati, and she is Parvati. Her father is Parvati, and then the daughter who is married to Lord Shiva, also known as Durga, in various forms. And these gods take on many different forms depending on the needs that they see that they are required, they need to fulfill. Like word and meaning, let's see, somebody else. Would someone like to read this in the English translation out loud for all of us?
I can read it.
Thank you.
Like word and meaning united, for the right understanding of word and meaning, I honor the parents of the universe, Parvati and Parameshvara, Shiva.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lauren. Parama Ish. Everyone repeat after me. Parama Ishvara. Parama Ishvara. Parama Ishvara. And then when we blend Parama and we join that with Ishvara, there's a blending between the last consonant in Parama, Ma, and the beginning consonant, then the beginning vowel in Ishvara. Actually, the last vowel and the first vowel of the next word. So Parama Ishvara will change to Parameshvara. Parameshvara. So that's how we get that. And Parama is like paramount, ultimate, supreme. And Ishvara is one of the words for God. The supreme Lord, the supreme God. So here we go. Repeat after me. Vagartha viva. Vagartha viva. Sampriktau. Sampriktau. Now let's put that phrase all together. Vagartha viva sampriktau. Again. Vagartha viva sampriktau. Vagartha. Vagartha. Pratipattaye. Pratipattaye. Vagartha pratipattaye. Vagartha pratipattaye. Jagataha. Jagataha. Pitarau vande. Pitarau vande. Let's put that together. Jagata pitarau vande. Jagata pitarau vande. Parvati Parameshvarau. Parvati Parameshvarau. That whole second line. Jagata Pitarau Vande. Parvati Parameshvarau. Jagata Pitarau Vande. Parvati Parameshvarau. Let's take the entire chant twice through. I'll chant Om to establish the pitch. Om. Vagartha viva sampriktau. Vagartha pratipattaye. Jagata Pitarau Vande. Parvati Parameshvarau. Vagartha viva sampriktau. Vagartha pratipattaye. Jagata Pitarau Vande. Parvati Parameshvarau. And then sometimes in places like the Ananda Ashram, we'll emphasize the last half of the phrase. Parvati Parameshvarau. It's like putting it in bold. Who would like to chant that for us? Anyone at all? Even if a different melody occurs?
I will
Caitlin?
do it.
Okay.
Om Vagartha viva sampriktau. Tau Vagartha Pratipattaye Jagatah Pitarau Vande Parvati Parameshwarau.
So beautiful. Thank you so much, Caitlin. That's really lovely. Beautiful voice. Who would like to who would like to do that next?
I can go.
You goody. Okay, Lauren. Om Vagarta viva sampriktau Vagarta pratipattaye Jagatha pitarau vande Parvati parameshwarau. Brava, beautiful, so lovely. Who else would like to chant for us? Elizabeth. Okay.
Vagartha viva sampriktau Vagartha pratipattaye Jagatah pitarau vande Parvati parameshwarau.
Thank you. So lovely. Beautiful. Really nice, clear articulation with all of you. Would anyone else like to go to chant that? Well, last week we worked on Triyambakanya Jamahe, the Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra for well-being.
Can I ask a question?
Please, yes.
This chant that we just did, like, where does it come from?
Kali Dasa, it comes from, it's an invocation to one of the stories by Kali Dasa. He wrote stories about the gods and goddesses. And I'll look that up for you. I don't remember which one it was, but I have the book in the other room. But
Okay.
anyway, his name is Kali Dasa, which
Okay.
literally means Dasa, servant, the one who serves time. That was his name. And he lived a couple of hundred years ago, I believe. He wrote some beautiful stories involving Shiva and Parvati, and so it was an invocation at the beginning of a story probably about Lord Shiva and Parvati. Thank you for asking. I'll go back.
Oh, sure. No, because I chant in class for my students, and sometimes I just feel like I want to know more about like what is appropriate, like where these things are coming from.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And and I think it was one of his stories about these two deities, and anyway, I just have to look at it, but it was an invocation at the beginning of a long story.
Okay.
So it was honoring these two individual Deva and Devi.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for asking. I will go back and do more research.
I can also look it up. I just was curious if you.
Yeah, well, I have the actual book that it's in. It's all in Sanskrit Devanagari. So so interesting. When you get to learn the Devanagari, you may not understand a word you're reading, but you can still read it. So if we can move on to the next one, we worked on this last week. So Kristen and Rabina, I warn you, this might be a mouthful, but you're welcome to just join in anytime. This is a very, very popular chant. After the Gayatri mantra, this chant is probably chanted the most often in India. And we've been told that the Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra is a chant that can be chanted in hospitals and for people who aren't well but need to get well, and it's to be chanted on birthdays, and you can even be chanted before a meal. And one of my teachers, Dr. Sharma, I remember whenever he was getting in the car to be driven somewhere, he would chant the Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra for a safe journey. So it's the chant, it's the Maha means great, Mri means to die, and Mrtyunjaya, Jaya is conquering, and mantra, that which protects us. The mantra is an interesting word itself. Mantra, man having to do with mananat, or the mind, manas, and tra having to do with trai, which means to protect, that which protects the mind. And I've often wondered if a mantra, something that we chant, is to protect our minds or to protect us from our minds, because sometimes our minds can do us in. So maybe both, our chitta vrittis. It is not, even though death is mentioned in it, as I mentioned last week, it is not to be chanted at a funeral or for anyone who it is known is expecting to die soon, because this chant is meant to hold us in life and to keep us well. Whereas there are other chants that are to help send the person on their way, just to keep that clear. So here's, I'll chant it once through and then we can chant it together. Om Triyambakam yajamahe Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan Mrityor mukshiyamamritat. So just repeat after me. Om. Om. Triyambakam yajamahe Triyambakam yajamahe. Oh, three-eyed one, we worship you. Sugandhim, Sugandhim, Pushtivardhanam, Pushtivardhanam. Sugandhim pushtivardhanam. Sugandhim, who is sweet and fragrant, sweet. Pushti, and nourishes us. Vardhanam, who is expansive, who is everywhere, who nourishes us, and who is sweet and fragrant. Let's chant that first line twice. Om Triyambakam yajamahe Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan Mrityor mukshiya mamritat. Om Triyambakam yajamahe Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan Mrit Mrtyomukshiyamamrita tat. My apologies, I ran out of breath at the end, so I had to repeat ta, 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 ta. Oh, we just went through the whole thing. I got carried away and I did the second line. So let's do the second line. Urvarukam iva. Iva means like. Urvarukam, the cucumber. Bandhanan, from bondage, like the cucumber that is freed from bondage from its vine. Mrityaha, or mrityor, from death. Mukshiya, liberate, command form or an imperative form. Mukshiyamamritat, liberate me from the bonds of just death into the nectar of immortality. Urvarukamiva bandhanan mrityor mukshiyamamritat. Urvarukamiva bandhanan mrityor mukshiyamamritat. Would anyone like to chant this for us? So we get to
I'll do
hear
it.
your vibration.
I'll chant it, Leslie.
Wonderful.
Om Triyambakang Yajamahe Sugantim Pushtivartanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat.
That was absolutely wonderful. You got every sound. Yay!
I like that one.
Patty. Would anyone else like to chant this? I always find it a tricky one.
I would like to do it.
I would love you to do it. Thank you, Kate.
Om Triyambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan Mrityormukshiyamamritat.
Very nice. Very nice. This is a mouthful. It's not an easy chant, is it? May we move on to the next page? Shiva Mantra. Another mantra for Shiva. This is old. And especially for Kristen and Robina, these chants are all, older than we are. Many of them are maybe 100 years old, maybe 200 years old, maybe more. This one comes from a period that we call the Vedantas period, or even Vedic period, which could go back as far as 2,000 to 4,000 BC, before Common Era. So they're quite old. And some people don't know. Now they may not be, this one may not be that old, but it's older than the yogic, the texts on yoga, and it's older than the Mahabharata, in which is the Bhagavad Gita. So that's more classical Sanskrit. So we're going into earlier Sanskrit here. So it has strict rules.
Leslie, I don't, is it I just don't know if this one was on the email. Is this?
Oh, I thought it was. I'm so sorry, everyone. If
no,
it's not,
does anyone?
it's on the second page of the one. Invocation to Shiva and Parvati, Maha, Mrtyunjaya.
Oh, okay. I just,
Do you
We
all?
got it last week.
okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
I have it, but I didn't know if
Okay.
it was in the files I sent. Okay, sorry about that.
Okay. Okay. So what I didn't explain last week, but I think you all probably got it. And again, for Kristen and Robina, the original written language of Sanskrit came into being centuries after the sounds were perfected. And the actual writing is like, if you go back to the first page, you see underneath Invocation to Shiva and Parvati, those fancy symbols. That's the original Sanskrit that was created to accommodate the sounds that were already there. And then when Westerners came to India, this what we call Devanagari. Deva meaning God, Nagari means the city where the gods live. Devanagari is the name of this kind of alphabet here. We Westerners, before we learn Devanagari, we have only our own Roman letters to go by. And so a system of using the letters to phonetically represent the Sanskrit sounds was created. And then also you'll see what we call diacritical marks accompanying some of the letters. And that will tell the tongue where to go, whether it's position 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And it also tells us what quality of sound. And also there are pitch marks. So I think just go ahead and read and join in anytime, but see if you can figure out, how these marks work. Let's just see what happens if we just start chanting. So those of you who remember this, chant along with me. Otherwise, we'll just repeat. Actually, I think I will break it down. Om Namastaraya Namah Shambhave. Just that again. Om Namastaraya Namah Shambhave. Moving on. Chamayo bhave cha namah shankaraya cha. There's a mouthful. Chamayo bhave cha namah shankaraya cha. One more time for that part from cha. Chamayo bhave cha namah shankaraya cha. Let's chant that whole line together 3 times. Om Namastaraya Namah Shambhave Chamayo bhave cha namah shankaraya cha. Om Namastaraya Namah Shambhave Chamayo bhave cha namah shankaraya cha. One last time. Om Namastaraya Namah Shambhave Chamayo bhave cha namah shankaraya cha. Moving into the next line. Mayaskaraya cha. Just that much. Mayaskaraya cha. Mayaskaraya cha. Now I'll repeat that cha because it goes into nama pretty quickly. Cha namaha. Whoops, I did it wrong. Cha namah. That's what it is. Cha namah. And then I'll go even further. I'll start with cha. Cha namah shivaya cha. Cha namah shivaya cha. Cha namah shivaya cha. Then from the second to the last cha to the end of the line. Cha Shiva Taraya cha. Ta Shiva Taraya cha. Cha Shiva Taraya cha. Elizabeth, would you like to chant the whole thing for us? I'm gonna.
I'll give this a try.
Yes.
Oh.
Elizabeth, I'm sorry. Do it twice through. First, fairly slowly, and then second time faster.
Om Namastaraya Namashambhave Chamayo Bhave Cha Namashankaraya Cha Mayaskaraya Cha Namashivaya Cha Shivataraya cha. Sorry about the mistake.
Okay. I would like to just make one suggestion. May we hear the Maha prana in Shambhave and Mayobhave? Because I don't know if it's the Zoom or if I just didn't hear it.
Okay.
Okay, so now do it again. Just do it again. Have fun with it, if you can.
Om Namastaraya Namashambhave Chamayo Bhave Cha Namashankaraya Cha Mayaskaraya Cha Mayaskaraya Cha Namah Shivaya Cha Shivataraya cha.
Okay, you got it out. Let's do this again, because I think you got the swaras mixed up a little bit towards the end. That's okay. And here we are in Vedic chant, and every rule has to be obeyed perfectly. We all have to act like we're perfect. Okay, here we go. Om Namastaraya Namashambhave Chamayo Bhave Cha Namashankaraya Chamayaskaraya Cha Namashivaya Cha Shivataraya Cha. Would anyone else like to chant through this? And since it's Vedic and it's Shiva, and he's a hard taskmaster, I'm just going to say there's no such thing as getting it wrong. Just if you'd like to just make the sound out and see what comes out, you're more than welcome to. Would anyone like to do that? This is not an easy chant.
I can try it.
Okay, yeah. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got in it.
All right.
It took us, and hey, just so you know, it took Elizabeth and me 2 years to learn this. So
Okay. Thank you. Om Namastaraya Namashambhave Cha Mayo Bhave Cha Nama Shankaraya Cha Mayaskaraya Cha Nama Shivaya Cha Shivataraya Cha. Oh, you're muted. Leslie, you're muted.
Leslie, you're muted. Come back.
Sorry. I was giving you a hand clap. I don't know if you saw it, but
Oh, thank you.
yeah, that was great. And you got the last part right. The svaras were right.
Wow, that's the part I didn't think I could get.
Yeah, and svara simply means getting the pitches, whether it's the low, medium, and high. So before we leave it, let's go back to we go to the Krama Pataha. Krama Pataha, the recitation in Krama form, which is we just take 2 words and then we begin the next phrase by starting with the second word of the preceding phrase, and we build like that. So it's going to sound like this. That I'll do that whole top line under Krama Pataha and see if you understand that. Okay. Om Namastaraya Taraya Namaha Namashambhave Shambhave Cha. Now I'll raise the pitch a little bit. Om Namastaraya Taraya Namaha Namashambhave Shambhave Cha. So can you all see, I mean, when we get 2 words coming together, it might look like they've changed a bit, but Namaha Taraya, and then Taraya Namaha, Namaha Shambhave, and then Shambhave Cha. So we're just taking 2 words, and then the next phrase is the latter part of the earlier phrase with a new word, and then and so on and so on. So we build that way, and it's a mnemonic for mnemonic, meaning an exercise to enable us to memorize this and to learn the chant this way. Before we leave this chant alone, because I want to finish with something a little more melodic. Let's do this twice through again. Just that top line. Om Namastaraya Taraya Namaha Namashambhave Shambhave Cha. Om Namastaraya Taraya Namaha Namashambhave Shambhave Cha. Would anyone care to do that for us?
I'll
do it.
All right.
It's much easier than the Samhita. I can see why you would use it to learn the Samhita, because it's much easier.
I agree. I concur.
All right. Om Namastaraya Taraya Namaha Namah Shambhave Shambhave Cha. You're muted.
Sorry. Kristen had said goodbye, so I just was, that sounded great. Okay, good. So is this enough? I don't know if any of you like to practice this on your own, but if you feel like you understand it, do you understand it well enough to play with it? Okay. Yeah. And always, everyone, feel free to email me anytime if you have a question or comment about it. So was one of the other ones, did we do the, oh gosh, what did I send you? Something with hrdayam, mayi. Let's go back to that refrain. I don't have that handout in front of me. What is it? What is it? What's on it? Oh, thank you. So hrdaya. Oh, is that the one with the Yoga Sutra in it? Hridaye chitta samvita. So let's chant that Yoga Sutra first. So in the heart, and for Robina, if you're still here, Yoga Sutras are kind of like the Bible for yoga practitioners, and it's a long book with 4 chapters of aphorisms. And this particular aphorism tells us that if we meditate with clarity on our heart, then actually, can someone read out loud the translation of that hridaye chitta samvita?
Okay. By samyama on the region of the heart, the yogi acquires a thorough knowledge of the contents and tendencies of consciousness.
Thank you. And there was another one, right? Is there another one on there?
Yes, by meditation on the heart, there comes an awareness of the functioning of the whole range of consciousness.
Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. So sometimes when we know a meaning, it's ever so helpful. So just chant with me. Hridaye chitta samvita. 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 Actually, could you all unmute, and each person in succession, one person at a time, will just go down the line, whatever order. I don't know if you have the same order of people as I do. Okay,
It's the same.
so
you sign us.
I just did it. So starting with Patty, then Lisa, then Elizabeth. So just remember who you follow. After Elizabeth comes Caitlin. After Caitlin comes Sandra. After Sandra comes Robina, if you like, but you don't have to. And after, well, actually, Robina, are you going to chant, or are you just going to listen? You know what? I think Robina's just going to listen. So Lauren, will you please follow Sandra? Okay, so just in succession, everybody just chant it once through.
I think you missed Caitlin. Did you miss Caitlin? Caitlin, do you have a?
Oh, I'm sorry, Caitlin. Yes.
No, I'm after Elizabeth.
You got one? Oh.
Okay, does everyone know who they're after? Okay, nice, strong, beautiful voice. Here we go.
Do you want to start or do you want me to start? I didn't know if you wanted to start the round robin, Leslie.
Oh, loudmouth me, I'll start. Okay. Hridaye chitta samvita.
Hridaye chitta
Hridaye chitta samvite.
Hridaye chitta samvita.
Hridaye chitta samvita.
Hridaye chitta samvita.
Hridaye chitta samvita.
Was that everybody? Okay, goody. Now we'll move on to the next one. Hrdayam mayi. That's in the, is that, I don't have this handout in front of me, but if memory serves me correctly. So for Rubina, the word in Sanskrit for heart is hridaya, hridaya, hridaya. That's the word for heart. And in Sanskrit, Sanskrit grammar behaves like Latin in that nouns have various endings, meaning whether it means whether it's the subject of the sentence or the direct object, etc., etc. So hridaye, so actually going back to the sutra, hridaye means on, it's a locative, on the heart. Chitta samvita, knowledge of the mind from meditation on the heart. Then hrdayam mayi, mayi means in me. Hrdayam mayi, my heart, the heart in me. Aham amrite, aham means I am in nectar, or the nectar of immortality. Amritam brahmani, that nectar is in Brahman, meaning that my own heart dwelling in me puts me in Brahman, the eternal source. So I am, and all of us being I am, we are, each one of us and all of us, connected and part of the eternal source. So chant with me, be muted, please, and chant with me. And then each one of you, if you can remember your order, it would be nice to hear each one of you do this as well. But we'll do this all together 3 times. Om hrdayam mayi aham amrite amritam brahmani hrdayam mayi aham amrite amritam brahmani hrdayam mayi aham amrite amritam brahmani. If you remember your order, start chanting. And actually, it's so lovely. Each one of you do it twice, okay? Each one does it twice.
Hridayam mayi aham amrite amritam brahmani. Hridayam mayi aham amrite amritam amritam brahmani.
hrdayam mayi aham amrite amritam brahmani hrdayam mayi aham amrite amritam brahmani
hrdayam mayi aham amrite amritam brahmani hrdayam mayi aham amrite amritam brahmani
hrdayam mayi aham amrite amritam brahmani hrdayam mayi aham amrite amritam brahmani
hrdayam mayi aham amrite amritam brahmani hrdayam mayi aham amrite amritam brahmani
hrdayam mayi aham amrite amritam brahmani hrdayam mayi aham amrite amritam brahmani.
Hand clap and heart is for all of you. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to hear your voices. Man, we've come a long way since April. Golly, this is such fun. Really, really nice. Let's end our session with Karpura Gauram. So Robina, just so you know, we've been really chanting to Lord Shiva and to Parvati this whole time, except for hrdayam mayi. That's before Shiva became realized in the form that he is now. But this last chant is very near and dear to the hearts of many of us. Karpura Gauram. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, I understand. Okay, sorry, I got. That was so nice. Somebody left. My mind is just all. Lauren left. Okay, that was nice of her.
Leslie, sorry, I'm just not sure which chant it is we're doing.
I think I sent the handout today that includes Karpura Gauram, but maybe I'm wrong. But it's in our chant booklet anyway. Where is it? Chant booklet.
It's page 86.
Yes, page 86 in the chant booklet.
Thank you.
Okay. Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Sansarasaram Bhujagendraharam Sada Vasantam Hridayaravinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami. Someone else take over.
I'll do it unless somebody else wants to. Just repeat it, yeah? Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Samsara Saram Bhujagendraharam Sada Vasantam Hridayaravinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami. Wait, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. That was beautiful. Someone else, please.
I can do it. Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Samsara Saram Bhujagendraharam Sada Vasantam Hridayaravande Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami.
Thank you. So lovely. Really nice, Caitlin. Anybody else? Sandra, would you like to chant this? I know you know it.
I'll give it a try.
Yay.
Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Samsara Saram Bhujagendraharam Sada Vasantam Hridayaravinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami.
Beautiful. That is really beautiful, Sandra. Thank you. Yes. Elizabeth, would you like to, or did you do it? I can't. Lisa, Elizabeth.
Yeah, no. Oh. Karpura Gaurang Karunavataram Sansara Saram Bhujagendraharam Sada Vasantang Hridaya Ravinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitan Namami.
Well, you certainly nailed those Mahapranas this time.
Well, I got the message, Leslie, to pay attention.
Got the memo, did you? That was great. That was lovely. Really lovely. Lisa?
It's too new for me, that one.
Okay. Okay. Has everyone had enough? If you haven't, we can continue, but I'm kind of done.
Yeah. You mean we have to go on without you?
Well, yeah, you could actually. You could run this easily. Okay, so our closing invocation. Elizabeth, why don't we divide it up? Do you want to do the first part or the second part?
I'll do the first part.
Okay.
Yadaksharapadabrashtam matrahinantu yad bhavet tat sarvang ksham yathan deva narayana namostute Shrimate Narayanaya Namo Namaha.
Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai Narayana yeti samarpayami sarvam shri krishnarpanamastu. Robina, we always end that with those chants because the Kayena Vacha is whatever I have done with my body, my speech, my mind, any organ of our actions, whether I've done it intentionally or unintentionally, I offer it up to the great divine whole and ask for forgiveness for any mistakes. So that's what that's about. Well, Lisa, enjoy the sunny, warm day.
I will. Thanks, everyone. Lovely to see you. I'll see you next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Say hi to the turtles.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you,
All well
everybody.
at your place? Is Marina staying with you?
All well. She lives here now.
Yeah. Oh, how great. And yeah, does she have her own cabin or is she living right in the main house?
Yep. No, she lives in the house that Jack lived in.
Uh-huh.
She
In the
added
house
on,
that Jack
she added on,
Yeah.
right,
Wonderful.
she added on to it and moved in there. Yeah.
So
that's great.
she's living there now full time. Thank
Yeah.
you. That's great. Wow.
Her daughter lives, my granddaughter lives here too. I mean, not here, but in Virginia.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Good.
So
So you still got family.
thank you.
Thank you. Have a great
Yeah.
week.
Bye.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you. Good
Thank
to
you, Patty.
Yeah.
Yay.
That's great. So I was just reading, Robina sent a very nice chant. Thank you for this beautiful experience. I feel much lighter in spirit and so absolutely proud of all you are doing and grateful for this experience.
Oh, that's
You
so
are a great
great.
teacher. I will return and more confident in chanting with you. Lovely energy here. Oh, that's so sweet. Wow. Okay, and she's left us. Okay, so it's just us chickens.
That's just us chickens again.
Yeah. You know what? I was thinking about the Devanagari. I have booklets for you and for Winnie if she'd like. I think she'd enjoy
Oh,
them.
I have to tell you that we were in the car on the way home from school. And I said, you know, Winnie, Leslie told me that she'll teach me how to read the letters of Sanskrit. And she asked if you would like to learn too. And she started screaming. Ah! that. She was so excited. I was surprised. I wasn't sure. I'm like, I don't know if she's going to want to or not.
You know,
I'm not exaggerating. She was screaming in the car. She was so excited.
okay. Get pencils with erasers, and when I've taught it in person, I taught it the way that Vyas Houston teaches it, and there's a kind of